Why is it that every single time you achieve something, instead of feeling proud, you end up feeling like a fraud? Like somehow you tricked everyone into thinking you're capable of something you're not, and any minute now they're going to find out you're not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. That's not just low self-esteem. That's called imposter syndrome. And it's way more common than you think it is, especially in creatives and high achievers and in people who are trying something new. So today we're going to break it down, not just what it is, but what it actually does to your brain. Why is it that it shows up even when you're doing well, and how you're going to stop it from ruining your life. Imposter syndrome is a chronic belief that your success is underdeserved. The train. That you fooled people into thinking you're more competent than you actually are. And here's the thing. It does not go away with more success. In fact, the more you achieve, the louder your imposter syndrome is going to get, because now there's even more pressure to maintaining that image. It was first identified in the late 1970s by psychologists Holland Clance and Suzanne Imes. And since then, we have learned something important. Imposter syndrome is a mental pattern, and it's rooted in how your brain processes self-worth, achievements, and safety. Now let's talk neuroscience for a second. When you're experiencing imposter syndrome, there are a few major systems at play. First, your prefrontal cortex. I feel like I talk about the prefrontal cortex every single time. This is the part of your brain that's responsible for decision making, planning, and self-reflection. When it's overstimulated, like when you're constantly doubting yourself, it can turn into a self-doubt loop. You reflect too much, analyze too much, and pick apart your own work. We're also going to talk about the amygdala. The amygdala, it's like the brain's fear center. So whenever you feel like you're not good enough and that you're about to be found out, your amygdala responds like you're literally in danger. It's the same system that would activate if you were being chased by a bear or something. So even if you're posting online, giving a presentation, or doing something completely different, your body goes into fight or flight. Faster heart rate, sweaty palms, mental fog, and avoidance. We also need to mention the brain's default mode network. This is essentially your brain's resting state. It's where you go when you're not focused on the outside world. It's tied to introspection, self-talk, identity, future planning, and people with strong imposter syndrome tend to have a hyperactive DMN. That means that they're constantly reflecting on themselves and comparing themselves to others, analyzing their interactions, and doubting their worth. So no, you're not crazy. Your brain is literally just wired to overthink. Where does imposter syndrome even come from? Imposter syndrome is rarely about your actual abilities. It's more about your early programming. So if you were raised in an environment where your success was overpraised or under-acknowledged, then your brain might have developed a wrapped sense of what it means to deserve praise or success. Add in perfectionism, high expectation, comparison culture, social media. You've got the perfect recipe for imposter syndrome. Here's how imposter syndrome is stopping you from success. You undermine your own wins. You downplay your achievements, you avoid celebrating, and you're constantly moving the goalpost. It can also lead to procrastination because you never feel like you're good enough to actually start. You say yes to things you don't want to do because you feel the need to prove yourself. And you say no to things you do want to do because you're afraid you're not ready or qualified. Imposter syndrome doesn't just make you doubt yourself. It tricks you into shrinking, into making yourself smaller, and into limiting yourself and your potential. Here's where we're going to shift. Imposter syndrome will not disappear with one YouTube video or with a pep talk, but it can be unlearned. First, we're going to name it when it shows up. The brain loves familiar stories, so if I'm not good enough is one of them, it's going to keep recycling it. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, oh, but I'm not ready yet, say, oh, this is imposter syndrome, not the truth. Whatever I'm thinking right now or whatever I'm feeling is not necessarily the reality. Awareness equals disruption. And awareness is the first step to change any behavior or break any cycle. Another thing you can do is to collect evidence, like literally collect evidence. Have a physical portfolio where you collect awards, trophies, medals, screenshots, kind words, testimonials, anything that qualifies as proof of your success. Next, we're going to reframe discomfort as growth. We need to remember that as soon as we're inside our comfort zone, we're not growing. That nervous, I'm not ready feeling, yeah, that's preventing you from growth. It doesn't always mean danger. It often means you're in a stretch zone, doing something new, hard, brave, which is exactly where you should be if you want to reach your goals. We need to stop tying our worth to perfection. It's okay to be a beginner. Mistakes do not invalidate your value. You're allowed to be a work in progress and still take up space. So stop pretending like you have everything under control and don't be afraid to seek advice and ask for help. Positive self-talk is probably one of the main things that helped me with my imposter syndrome. If your friend came to you feeling like a fraud, would you tell them, "Oh yes, you probably are"? Of course not. You'd say, "You're growing, you belong, you earned this." It's time to start giving that same compassion to yourself over and over again until you actually start believing it, because it is the reality. Imposter syndrome isn't a weakness. It's a sign that you're growing, that you're doing things that your old self never thought would be possible. So when the voice shows up, don't try running from it. Don't believe it. Look straight at it and say, "I see you, but I'm not playing small anymore." You've earned the room. You've earned the right to stay. Give your brain the time to keep up with your growth and stop playing small and stop delaying your goals. That was it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!